Let's talk about some of the mistakes I see Etsy sellers making when they first start an Etsy shop, shall we? Because I think that's the number one reason people don't get started, because they are nervous about making mistakes. If so, first, I want to say that if you're scared of making a mistake, you have to get over that, okay? Because you're going to make mistakes. I have made a ton, and some of them are embarrassing. Some of them are more embarrassing than others, but it's all about knowing that you will make mistakes and just accepting it and deciding to move forward anyway. Now, some of these mistakes that I'm going to share with you probably do apply to all beginning Etsy sellers, where some of them are really only applicable to you if you are going to sell digital items on Etsy, like printables. As you might know, I'm Lindsay, and I teach women how to make money online using their creative skills, and I really teach women to sell digital products so that we don't have to ship anything or break our backs in our craft room or run to get more supplies, right? So that is why most of my videos are talking about digital items, because that is what I have shifted to in my business to avoid that burnout. So if you're looking to do the same, you're in the right place. So the first mistake I want to talk to you about is really something I see literally all the time. And it's probably one of the number one reasons printable sellers don't get sales from their listings. You ready for it? It is when you are going to create your Etsy listings, which is how you list your products on Etsy. You have to create a listing like you do on Craigslist, or if you sell on Poshmark, you have to create that listing, right? And the mistake happens when you straight up just upload your printable as your listing photo. Are you guilty of doing this? If so, no shame. But this is a huge problem. Why? Let me tell you. The reason this is a huge problem is that, well, people can just steal your work. That's right. If you just straight up upload your digital item, whether that's a label, an invitation, a sign, a piece of digital artwork, or a calendar, for example, if you just upload that design as your listing photo, you're basically just giving away your printable for free. Why would someone pay you for it when they can just click on your listing photo and essentially save it to their computer, or they can take a full resolution photo of your printable, maybe a screenshot? The answer is they wouldn't. That's why I teach my students how to create great listing photos, and I give them 3 separate ways to do it in both Canva and Adobe Photoshop. They can pick which one works best for them so that they don't have anyone stealing their printables right off their listings. Like I said, I can't tell you how many people do this, and we need to make sure we avoid it like the plague. The next mistake is a problem I see most beginner Etsy sellers making, and this applies if the Etsy shop owner is selling any kind of digital product or any kind of handmade and shipped item. And that problem I see is people using short-tailed keywords. Things like printable, invitation, birthday, Valentine, calendar, etc. The number one way to fail on Etsy is to use these kinds of short-tailed keywords that are going to attract the wrong people to your shop and pretty much promise that you're not going to get any sales. The key to getting customers that will buy is to tailor your keywords to the right audience, right? Search engine optimization is key to getting your listings found, and short-tailed keywords like this are not going to get the job done. That's why I have this how-to guide for creating an Etsy listing for a printable that is going to help you understand exactly what to include in your Etsy listings, your product descriptions on Etsy, so that you can get your listings found and get purchases from buyers. You can grab that description right where you're watching this video. And the next mistake I see people make is not doing the research on what will sell. So you have probably had an idea for a printable in the past and you thought, okay, that's a cute idea, right? Maybe I'll sell that. So you make it and then you list it on Etsy and crickets. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The reason you're hearing crickets is because while your product idea may have been super cute and fun, there just may not be a market for it. Or there are already so many people doing it and you haven't identified how you're going to differentiate yourself as a new Etsy seller from those shops that are getting hundreds of sales every month selling the same thing. It's all about doing the right research so that you can ask yourself, is this product in demand and how can I make it stand out? two very important questions that you need to ask yourself. And if you like having a checklist of what, to ask yourself as you create your Etsy listings, you can grab my free checklist where I walk you through the exact questions that you need to ask yourself while you're designing your printables and while you list them. You can grab that over at atouchofla.com/checklist or just click the link right below where you're watching this video. Okay, so the fourth mistake I see many people making is that they post and ghost. What do I mean by this? Well, they start their shop, which takes some time, right? They get all excited, they get one thing listed, and then they just wait. They just wait, and they see what will happen. No, no, no. This is all wrong. We have to stop doing this. Why? Because yes, it's possible that the first thing you listed is one of a kind. It's beautiful and they can't find it anywhere else. However, the problem could be that first you aren't speaking the language of your customers. So you want to go into your shop data and take a look after you've listed something to find out if you're speaking their language and what you should change. Next, we need to train the algorithm what your shop is all about. If you post one calendar and then you leave, the algorithm is going to be like, okay, so this shop is, I think, a shop about calendars, right? But this person doesn't seem very committed, so we're not gonna push this product out. It's about building out a shop page that looks intriguing to buyers and will show Etsy that you are serious about creating and selling your products with them. If you just list one item, that does not convey that message. Let's keep going. Let's build out your product so that you can not only learn from that shop data as you grow your shop, but also show your buyers that you're serious. Let me set up the next mistake Etsy newbies often make. Okay, so pretend you walk into a Target in August and you see all this Easter stuff all at the front of the store, right when you walk in. First, you're confused, right? You're like, isn't it summer? Like, what day is it? When is Easter? And I guess it would make sense if they were having a huge sale on some of those items, but nothing's discounted. It's just full price. It's all just sitting there, right? And you're like, this is weird. What's going on? Well, that's the mistake I see beginner shop owners make, is listing their seasonal printables all year round. So not only is this confusing to buyers, but it's also such a waste of your money, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I sometimes do this by mistake myself. In fact, it's making me think I need to go in and check my Etsy shop right now and see if I'm making this mistake, and I probably am. But this is exactly why we talk about how, yes, creating a printable one time and being able to sell it over and over again is absolutely a passive way to make money, right? But that doesn't mean that you're just listing and you're forgetting. There is a list of things you want to continue to keep checking into your shop if you want to see continued growth and success. And this is one of the things. You don't just want to just set it and forget it forever. You want to go in, turn these listings off whenever they aren't in season. That leads me to my bonus tip. I said we had 5 mistakes that Etsy sellers make, but I'm going to add one more on because it's bigly important. And it's a lesson I've personally been learning myself. And the lesson, or the big mistake so many newbies make, is giving up too soon. And I have personal experience with this because you might know that I recently opened a brand new Etsy shop. I'm keeping its identity under wraps for now because it's new and it's experimental and it's just not something I'm ready to share just yet. But the reason behind it is that I started my first Etsy shop years ago, and now that I have over 12,000 sales in that shop, and I think when I list a new item in that Etsy shop, it has an easier time selling than a brand new shop, because I have built up that quality score that you get over time with sales and reviews. And a new shop just doesn't have that kind of foundation to stand on. So I wanted to start a new shop where I could start over and really feel like what it feels like to be that new Etsy seller all over again, so that I could really relate better to my students who join my program. They have no sales and they don't know where to start, and they're wondering, I'm starting at 0. Is this possible for me? And let me tell you, it hasn't been off to a great start, honestly. Meaning, I have had the shop open for a few weeks now and it hasn't made a sale. But has that deterred me? Nope. I know that if I keep going and I follow the things that I teach inside my program and I keep an open mind, that this shop is going to get its first sale eventually, and then it's going to grow. And I have that personal experience that gives me that knowing that it will happen. It's not an I hope it will happen. It's an I know it will happen. It's just a matter of time and the right tweaks and changes that are going to result in my success. What I'm telling you is not to give up. When you know the right tools and knowledge, you will see success. Sometimes it just takes a little time, it takes a little patience, and it takes doing the work and showing up. But it will happen. So those are my 5, well, actually 6 biggest mistakes I see new Etsy sellers make. So I hope you'll learn from this video and not make them. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if so, put it in the comments below. Tell me what helped you and what I can talk about next when it comes to selling digital products on Etsy or just business in general, and maybe I'll make a video just for you next time. I look forward to it. See you soon.